It was a solid election night across the board for Democrats, notching wins in a number of off-year contests, including governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey. 34-year-old self-described Democratic socialist Zohran Mamdani also winning the race for New York City mayor. North Central College political science professor Maynard Caliendo joins us now. Kind of recap all of this and get some insight. So, Professor, what do you make of the Democrats' sweep here? Were their candidates just better, or is this a referendum on President Trump's first-year policies?
Well, Natalie, you know well, it's a little bit of both, but the pendulum swings. We're a restless type, Americans, and it's often the case that the New Jersey and Virginia governor's races end up being coming out opposite of the party that is in the White House. So we see that on a regular basis. Of course, we had New York is a little bit different than that. We had a very unique election there, and what happened in California with the ballot referendum was very unique. But it was the lower races too, up and down the ticket. It was mostly Democrats the whole way across. Folks are frustrated. It's been a year since Donald Trump was elected. Not quite a year, of course, since he's taken office. But we're restless.
Okay, let's talk about this. So do you think Democrats will take a page from Mamdani's win in New York City and maybe select more socialist candidates in the near future? Or is this only a tactic, only a candidate who works in New York City?
I think it's a candidate that will work, type of candidate that will work in a lot of cities or a lot of maybe big college towns, for instance. It's not going to work nationally right now. It's certainly a movement that is trying to build and has been trying for some time. Bernie Sanders certainly hit a roadblock in 2016 when he tried to run for the Democratic nomination against Hillary Clinton. So there's some groundswell for this, and I think it will work in big cities. But it's not going to be the ticket that you see in small towns all across America where Democrats are embracing the democratic socialist mantra, even if they do slowly start to embrace more of those policies.
Yeah, I was kind of seeing some similarities between, especially the ultra wealthy, between him and Mayor Brandon Johnson here in Chicago. And lately, the reception, rumor is, for Mayor Johnson has not been great among large circles, especially of Democrats. So you wonder if Mamdani might walk that same road or maybe have better success. We'll see. I want to switch now to California. Was it a surprise that California's redistricting Prop 50 passed? Of course, this is going to add potentially more Democratic seats to the U.S. House.
I wasn't surprised that it passed, Natalie, but I was surprised that it passed by such a large margin. I mean, it was really overwhelming. And so Californians are certainly indicating that they are behind Governor Gavin Newsom's attempts to counteract what they clearly believe is a Trump administration attempt to fix the elections next year. The midterm elections, as we said, with the pendulum swing, they typically move in the direction opposite of the president that's in power. Certainly the administration understands this, but it is unprecedented to ask states to redraw congressional maps, particularly only asking states where there's going to be more Republicans to do so in the middle of a census. And so this was California's response to what they perceived as unfair practices by the Trump administration and by Republicans in more red states.
Very quickly here, if you're a Republican leader, what, if anything, do you change heading into the midterms?
If I'm a Republican leader, I think the big question is, how much do we tether ourselves to President Trump? It is possible for Republican ideas, particularly if they start to move back to conservative ideas. The Trump administration is not conservative. It's very, very government-centered, and it's authoritarian in that respect, and it's opposite of sort of progressive values. But it's not conservative in the traditional sense. So Republicans can sort of move toward that, or they can attach themselves to the president. The president was not very involved in these races directly, and that was because his popularity is at an all-time low. If that remains the case next year, Republicans are probably going to want to distance themselves from the president as much as they can, but congressional leaders have shown an unwillingness to do that.
Professor Caliendo, thank you for your time this morning.
Have a great day, Natalie.
You
Good
too.
to see you.
Thank you. You too.